your voice of the valley, AM 1450 KBMW. Turtle is here, and it is time for your Snap Spotlight, my favorite part of the Friday show here. As long as we don't have any games on the air, it's hard to beat a game getting on the airwaves. And joining me today, we got a BW Storm wrestler and a Breckenridge Cowboy, Henry Slettedahl. How's it going today, Henry?
It's going pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm fantastic. You're having a good start to your sophomore season so far on the mat. How's it going out there?
Yeah, I'm about 500 right now, and I'm doing pretty good.
Gotcha. What has been the highlight so far at this point? Maybe a favorite match or maybe a favorite tournament you really like to compete in?
This year, in past years, we've lost to Valley City, and we took them down this year, which is pretty fun.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, Valley City. They were kind of a powerhouse for a little bit there. I remember back when I was covering them at the Daily News, or when I was covering the wrestling team. But you got to be part of the transition period for the co-op, and I believe your first year, like wrestling for varsity at least, 7th grade. You got to be a Breckenridge Cowboy, and then you got to be a BW Storm athlete now. What was that transition like for you?
In 7th grade, I wrestled a couple varsity matches. I wasn't like a varsity wrestler. I wouldn't give myself that. But at the co-op, it was interesting because, over the summer we had a camp, and you see a couple of the guys from Wahpeton, and then during the season, I thought I wasn't going to like it. It turned out better than what I anticipated, but turned out all right. Now I'm friends with a bunch of people from WAP, and it's kind of cool how you kind of mix in with WAP people now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was that? I guess you talk about, I would obviously be hesitant going into a co-op too after never having done one. So what was that like, kind of breaking the ice as far as getting acclimated to a whole new bunch of teammates?
It was very cool. Like, you see all these people from WAP you've never met before, and then you're teammates with them, and you just kind of have to build all new relationships. And you can.
And you got a bit of a hybrid of a coaching staff too, if I remember. It's Coach Brand and then Coach Erlinson on the staff too.
Yep.
So that must have been made it a little more at ease knowing Coach Erlinson was coming over for this too.
Then we got Trayton Hout also came over with us, and then Hunter McCall is from WAP. He's from WAP as a coach.
Oh yeah, I covered Hunter when he played baseball for Wahpeton way back when. So I remember Hunter very well. And a little bit about, I guess, moving over to North Dakota. Do you think that was going to be kind of a weird adjustment? And then I'm sure you missed the Minnesota State tournament. I'm sure anybody would. But what have been some pros and cons to switching over to the NDHSA?
Well, I think Minnesota it's pretty hard to make it to state because only, 2 people from a section make it, where North Dakota has a lot of schools, so there's 2 sections pretty much in each class, and the top 8 from each class make it to state. So, obviously the top guys in the state are going to be just as hard as the top guys in Minnesota, but I would say it's a little easier to make it to state in North Dakota.
Gotcha. And a little bit about, I guess you just came off a football season as well. Got to start on the O-line. What was that like, your first year starting in the trenches for the Cowboys?
Yeah, I started off a little rough. We all grew. We had some young people in line. Me and Tegan Abel are both sophomores. And then got Eli Butts, which good leader to follow and just coach us up a little bit. And then we got Brian Martinez and Carter Benson to also help us out. Myself, biggest struggle was snapping the ball and then being able to get my blocks. It was always, at the beginning, I could snap the ball good, but then I won't get my block right, or I'd get the block right and then the snap would be screwed up.
Gotcha. And then you guys were running gun all year, so they threw a little more on your shoulders, it seems like. They were like, oh, he seems up for it.
Yeah. Every time since 5th grade, it's been under center football. I played center 7th and 8th grade, and that was under center. And last year, it was under center also. So. Gotcha.
That was my next question. I was going to ask, you don't really look like the prototypical lineman when you come in. So I was going to say, is that your normal position, or was that kind of just we need you down there kind of thing?
Yeah, so I was in 5th and 6th grade, I was a big boy. In 3rd grade, I weighed 130 pounds. So I kind of just fell into there and stayed there ever since.
Yeah, you can always make a comeback. You can be a big boy again. Yeah, it might hurt your wrestling a little bit, but is it tricky finding that balance where it's like, oh, I'd love to put on some weight here for football, but I don't want to kind of not exactly set myself up for success in wrestling.
Yeah, I kind of made the decision early off in the wrestling season that I wasn't going to cut down a whole lot because it's just more weight I need to gain on for football, and I'm really looking forward to football season next year.
Gotcha, yeah, and I'm sure you guys are hungry to get back to a section title game after coming up short and not making it this year. Yeah. And a little bit about how that's going to, for you personally, how that's going to, fire you up to get ready for next year in the off season.
Yeah.
Oh, just a little bit about, are you going to train any differently, or are you going to maybe hit the weights a little harder, or what's kind of the mindset for you and the rest of the crew that's coming back next year?
So we've all been getting in the weight room so far. Obviously, when summer comes around, we can pound it a little harder with speed and strength and stuff like that. But right now, we have morning liftings like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So today, we're out lifting, and we have a lot of the guys there, so that's good. And some of the guys lift on their own. So
okay. And what do they have you doing in the spring? 3-sport athlete. What do you got? What do you do when you're doing track in the spring?
I do track, and then I also do trap shooting.
Oh, really? Oh, 4-sport athlete then. Oh, you're gonna tell me you play baseball in the summer all of a sudden? I'm gonna lose my mind. But what events do you do for track?
So I do long distance. Sometimes I run the mile, and most of the time I run the 800. And then I took a stab at pole vaulting last year. Mm-hmm. But that was late in the season, so that didn't really go anywhere.
You're gonna have the wildest Venn diagram of stuff that you've done. It's like, oh, it sounds like a lineman to me. Wait, he runs a long distance. He wrestles 145 pounds. There's a lot of wild anomalies here, but I think you're just unique. I guess you could say so. A unique specimen. So a little bit about just how you balance all of it, I guess, with school and then, being a 4-sport athlete, I should say. Is there ever an issue with that, or is it pretty easy for you to stay on top of everything?
It's pretty easy to stay on top of everything. You just gotta get it done in school the best you can and hope you don't get homework, but every once in a while you always have those big assignments where you need to take stuff home and do it after practice, but most of the time I can keep up with it.
Good. If there's a cheating circle, you don't have to talk about it here. Don't worry about it. We'll look back after we get wrapped up with the interview. But I guess last thing would be the goal for the rest of this year. I guess your wrestling season goal, and then any big goals going forward for your entire career, I guess.
For wrestling, obviously making it state. I'd like to do that again, and maybe last year I won one match at state. I'd like to improve that a little more.
Get on the podium, baby. Yeah, we'd love to see that. Get up there, maybe high up on the podium. Top 3 finish would be ideal. Yeah, we'll see.
Right. And then for football season next year, I obviously want to pack on as much pounds as I can, being a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right, and looking forward to seeing how the rest of the wrestling season goes, the BW Storm, and then gonna jump into track and. See how it's going to go with how you juggle running a mile or a 2-mile while also putting on pounds. It's going to be an experience.
Might have to switch events.
Yeah, possibly. It might be a thrower by the end of the year. You never know. Henry Slettedahl, BW Storm wrestler and Breckenridge Cowboy athlete. Anything else like that?
Oh, no, I think we're good.
All right, and before we wrap it up, we'll have your snap schedule reminder.
Starting off with a busy Friday, BW Wrestling is at the Bismarck Rotary for the first of 2 days at that tournament. BW Gymnastics is at Valley City for a 5 p.m. meet. Breckenridge girls are at Benson for a 7 p.m. matchup. Breckenridge boys basketball hosts DGF at 7:30 p.m. And Wahpeton boys basketball is at Kindred for a 7:30 p.m. game. Tomorrow, just BW Wrestling at the Bismarck Rotary once again, and then NDSCS women take on Barton College on the road at 2 p.m. A rare Monday game, Wahpeton girls basketball takes on Northern Cass at home at 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, BW boys hockey versus Prairie Center at 7 p.m. Breckenridge boys basketball is at Norman County East Ulen Hitterdal. Breckenridge girls host Holly at 7:30 p.m. Wahpeton boys host Hillsborough at 7:30 p.m. also on Tuesday. Wednesday we have a doubleheader with the NDSCS teams against Tribes at 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. And then Thursday, BW Wrestling is at West Fargo Cheyenne for a duel at 7 p.m. Breckenridge boys basketball is at Perham for a 7:30 p.m. game. Breckenridge girls host Fergus Falls at 7:30 p.m. And then the Wahpeton girls basketball team heads to Fargo Oak Grove for a 7:30 p.m. battle. And that's League Year Snap schedule reminder, and that will do it for another Snap Spotlight, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll do it again on Friday next week.
Snap Fitness, your locally owned gym in Wahpeton, wants to have you join their workout family. Snap offers personal training, and owner Renata Faub will even write up workout plans for you. If you're an athlete in the Twin Towns, Snap Fitness will help you make sure you're prepared for the upcoming sports season. To all the retired athletes over 65, Snap Fitness participates in the Silver Sneakers Insurance Program, and most major insurances reimburse for memberships to Snap. Stop by Snap Fitness today and ask about their membership packages. They're located at 102 7th Street South in Wahpeton.